Because they sound like this, and like this, and like listen to this singing chorus, and like listen to this guitar solo, and like listen to this breakdown. What is good, YouTube? Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Today we're gonna look at some of my favorite one album wonders, just kind of reminisce about the good old days. Let's get into it. Alright guys, you know I love metalcore. Metalcore is like my favorite genre because it's the best genre out there. Dude, probably not. Okay, that's totally false, but it totally is my favorite genre. Back when metalcore was at its peak, like that Warped Tour genre generation, peak Warped Tour time, like 2010 to 2014. RIP Warped Tour, by the way. Please make a return. I swear there were new bands popping up like every freaking day, it seemed. But some bands literally could not stand the test of time and they just died with their one full-length album. And honestly, we're not going to dive into a lot of the reasons why these bands broke up. Bands literally break up for whatever reason. Sometimes like a member leaves, boom, you're done. It's as easy as that. So some bands do break up. Bands break up all the time, pretty much as often as they come up through the scene like it just happened. So honestly, these are just some of my favorite bands that had one full-length studio album. And honestly, with that one album, it was super easy to sleep on some of these bands that just put out absolutely terrific music. So hopefully you guys can reminisce with me if you guys are back with the old days where these guys were still around, and hopefully maybe if you're new to the channel or new to metal and you guys are looking for some old metalcore with bands that had one album, this is the right place to be. So hopefully you guys can find some new music. But honestly, I'm just super stoked to share these guys, share some of these bands, share some of these albums. And honestly, I'm just stoked to listen to them right now. So let's get into it. Just like an FYI, this is only like 5 or 6 bands. There was seriously probably like a million other one album wonders out there. So make sure you guys throw down in the comments so I can go check them out for myself.
One more thing.
I'm not counting EPs and singles. And the saddest part about this entire video, all these bands literally broke up before I got to see any of them live. So there's another reason to go see live music. Go see your freaking favorite band because tomorrow they could literally break up. We're gonna start off this list with good old 10 After 2. Anyways, they dropped their first full-length album back in 2011, Truth Is ... which I actually think is probably a homage to that like Facebook status we all put, or that MySpace status, Truth Is, and you like my, yeah, you guys know, you guys were all there. 10 After 2 was literally part of that like high school jam that you just always had in your headphones. Like as soon as class got out, you just popped your headphones in and you listened to Before You Know It just on your way to the next class. I actually think the band broke up before their full-length album dropped, which actually really sucks and is kind of sad. They were dropped by Rise Records after that. Like, dude, after all that hard work, man, for just such a hard breakup like that, I don't really know the true details, but that definitely sucks. But literally go check these guys out. Make sure you listen to the song Before You Know It. Alright, up next on the list is At the Skylines. Dang, dude, these guys were so freaking good and talented. I really wish they didn't break up. Full-length album released in 2012, The Secrets to Life. This album just had so many solid bangers on it. Honestly, I have like 4 or 5 of these songs saved in one of my Spotify playlists. I still jam these guys. Just very, very good, very talented. The first song I heard by them was It's Cherried, and I watched their music video, and honestly, back then, the state of mind, the state of character that I was in, they really just fit that bill for the scene metalcore band. I really gravitated towards that look, towards that sound, towards the breakdowns, towards the clean vocals. They just fit every check that I wanted to be and look like and listen to back then. And obviously they wrote freaking good music. Their clean vocalist actually has a very, very unique kind of sound. I love the way his clean vocals sound. It's just very good, very clean. You guys seriously got to go check out At the Skylines if you have not heard of them, especially, dude, just like It's Cherried. Turbulence has one of the most catchy choruses ever in it. Go check these guys out. Alright, number 3 on the list is Legacy. These dudes are super hard to find anything about because they're a one-word band, and literally Legacy is just so, the word legacy just so happens to be like associated with a million other just random things. Back in 2012, these guys put out their first full-length album, With Peace in Mind, and it was just so freaking good. Once again, these guys just fit the bill, and this album was just so metalcore. Oh my goodness. We should just start using that term like, dude, that was metalcore, because these guys put out some freaking good metalcore. They seriously, I'm just gonna have to show you guys, they sounded like this. And like this. Listen to this breakdown. Those guys were awesome. All right, the last two on this list are the two like more famous one album wonders, so there's like probably a higher chance you've heard of both of these, but if not, man, you guys definitely gotta check them out. The next one being Make Me Famous. Their one and only album came out in 2012, It's Now or Never, and this album was so flippin' good, man. I don't care what anybody says, but seriously, when I listened to Asking Alexandria's Stand Up and Scream album a million times in a row, I just like needed something different sometimes. And honestly, this album just kind of fit that bill, which is actually hilarious because their clean vocalist Dennis ended up being the short-term vocalist for Asking Alexandria for that one album, which I think is pretty cool. And now he's like doing some other side project. I don't know. I don't listen to Asking Alexandria or Dennis's side project, so I don't even know. But that's all right, dude. Make Me Famous. These guys put out a crazy album. This was like one of the other albums that just, you know, they stuck clean to the metalcore, heavy breakdowns, layered screams, really good, clean, high-pitched singing choruses. But then some of their songs just had really weird, like, genre bending that was just super rare at that time. Like, listen to this breakdown to this song. It's just so freaking weird. And these guys also have like one of the most iconic metalcore breakdowns. Disrespect Your Surroundings is definitely like the most iconic, but these guys have a really iconic one from their song Make It Precious. I know you've probably heard this at some point. I just did it, bitch. Alright guys, and last but certainly not least, literally just one of my favorite albums of all time, one of my favorite metalcore albums of all time, still to this freaking day, would have to be Great Faith and Fools by The Air I Breathe. Released in 2011, no joke, this album was absolutely terrific. In my opinion, I think for the time that this album came out was just so far ahead of its generation. The musicians were just like overly talented for this genre. It was insane. They had it all. They had freaking crazy good metalcore riffs. They had chugs. They had breakdowns. They had guitar solos. They had screams. They had singing choruses that were super catchy. This album seriously had everything. In my opinion, I really liked the screams. I think back then, metalcore, they did a lot of like layering, they did a lot of highs and lows. But in this album, their vocalist did a very consistent scream, which was very kind of uncommon for that time. So I really appreciated that. So yeah, catchy choruses, freaking good breakdowns. Overall, just a terrific album. I know there was some beef about this band that I don't really want to get into. And no, don't tell me to go check out Burn It to the Ground. It's just not the same for me. Honestly, The Air I Breathe, Great Faith and Fools will just always be that one and done album that like was just so freaking good. It was unmatched. To this day, I think that you can go and listen to The Air I Breathe and just still be a fan of these guys because they sound like this. And like this. And like listen to the singing chorus. And like, listen to this breakdown. And like, listen to this guitar solo. They were so freaking good. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in today, guys. Let me know down in the comments. I know there's a million bands out there who just like dissolved after their first album, which kind of makes it hard for them to be discovered now. Obviously, they're not promoting, they're not putting out any new music, which really sucks. But seriously, throw it down in the comments what your favorite one album wonder band or one album wonder album was, so I can go check it out for sure. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping in. This is like the Metalcore Nation. I'm like the Metalcore baby. I love it. Let's talk all things Metalcore. Make sure you guys go check out my reaction Does It 2-step videos. Make sure you guys follow me on the good old Instagram. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Click the bell. I don't care, dude. We're just here to have fun. This is Caleb from Caleb Will Try It. Thank you guys so much again. We will catch you guys on the next video.